My mother, looking up a path littered with pine cones and tree limbs, cried over her shoulder, "This is exactly what I always dreamed." I followed Mom, Dad, and my older sister to the one-room cabin precariously built on an outcropping of gray sandstone. To the west, the continental divide spread across the horizon with winds whipping down glaciers and across valleys. Standing next to me, Mom inhaled the cool air and repeated, "This is exactly what I always dreamed," and added, "Let's buy it." At 9 years old, I was elated, anticipating weekends and summer vacations, living in the mountains. Mom, a naturalist, a gifted artist, and an expert at recycling, used her talents with flourish and color. Immediately, she christened the cabin Top of the Rocks. We collected dead wood from the enchanted forest and learned to use a sawhorse Mom called Pegasus. She described the Greek legend as she painted its name on the legs and added decorative symbols of bravery. Our outhouse became Cave of the Winds. She taught us to observe wildlife. Chickadees trusted her as she fed them birdseed sprinkled in her hand. One incredible summer, 3 silver fox wandered out of the forest. Mom instructed us, "Let's see how much we learned about them." But the fox watched us all summer, hiked with us, and playfully let me run with them in the forest. Nothing entered the cabin that was new. After all, Mom was a child of the Great Depression. The blue enameled wood-burning stove, resurrected from our grandmother's garage, became the center for cooking lessons. Old bed sheets she sewed into curtains, and a mosaic pattern of salvaged linoleum covered our bedroom floor. As Mom lived her dream, my sister and I explored our world. Each morning, we ran out of the cabin with our lunch and a canteen of water. Invariably, Mom sat at the kitchen table, waving to us with one hand, the other holding her brush, ready to dab color on canvas. We returned from hiking, thirsty and hungry, jabbering about the cliff we scaled or the river crossed. She listened silently to our emerging stories, aware of our exaggerations. We fell into bed exhausted, but not before consuming Mom's gourmet stew that instilled with us energy needed for the next day. And her painting completed, reflected our mountain world, the continental divide, glaciers, a valley, and a rustic cabin blessed in tranquility. Mom encouraged my sister and me to invite friends to join us at the cabin. On one occasion, 7 of us, all teenagers, planned a weekend trip together. Helping me pack, she said, "Put these sheets in your suitcase. You'll need them for the beds." I noticed black printing on the corners. Looking closely, I read, "Olinger's Mortuary." I was mortified. Standing firm, declaring that to own a cabin meant sacrifices by all, she won the lengthy argument. Upon our return home, Mom asked, "How did the weekend go?" But she knew. She knew the chaos of teenage girls screaming through the cabin, finally throwing the sheets out the door on the rocks as a last resort. Mom knew exactly what she was doing. She painted us pictures of experiences spiced with humor, encouraged us to become independent, to explore, and to trust. Decades later, visiting Mom in the nursing home, we sat together sharing photos of the cabin. "Pegasus," she explained, her whole face in a smile, with eyes sparkling. She continued through the album, placing her finger on the pictures. "Cave of the Winds, oh, the enchanted forest." But again and again she asked, "Now who are you?" I'm Marilee, remember? Daughter number 2? Oh, Marilee. Her body continually weakened as the dementia progressed. She died that fall at 91 years old. The following spring, my husband and I arrived at the cabin. We opened the windows, dusted and vacuumed, and shared stories about Mom's insistence to keep the cabin rustic. Below the cabin, in the storage room, cobwebs covered the windows. I grabbed a rag from a rusty nail, rubbed the dirt away, letting sunlight danced into the shelter. I saw old bristled brushes and cans with petrified paint, each hue representing a stage in my mother's life. I heard her voice, "Don't throw it away. Let's put it under the cabin. We might need it someday." This room represented over 60 years of leftovers waiting to be used. Truly a family museum. Then something. I shook out the rag and looked more closely. Those black letters, Ollinger's orchard. I couldn't continue cleaning because something called me. Listening, I heard the chickadees singing for their seeds. And in the distance, a silver fox yapping at the edge of the enchanted forest, waiting for me to come play. I gently hung the rag back on its nail. It still had some good uses, she would say. Well, Mom would be pleased. She shared her dream with all of us. We only need to listen to keep it alive.